Hello! So, for abstract composition, you will need the following things. You definitely will need some sort of sketchbook or some paper. Now, you can get these sketchbooks of smooth paper, or you can have a little sketchbook full of drawing paper or acrylic paper. If you don't have that, then just a couple of sheets of acrylic paper or even A4 printer paper. So don't panic if you don't think you've got the right thing. Even if you bring a load of A4 printer paper in with you, it's fine. This is for your preliminary studies, really. So I've got some examples of the sort of thing we're going to be doing on the paper, giving ourselves ideas of how the abstract compositions could work. So you'll need a pen. I would go with a drawing pen. If you don't have a drawing pen, again, don't panic. I will have lots of them with me. So I just go for a fine liner drawing pen, and you might need to bring a ruler with you if you want to get your boxes for your composition square. So if you're really a real stickler, you could bring a square with you. Otherwise, I like to cheat and just draw around a square object to get my my frame for my composition. Then for doing your preliminary studies, you'll need a small brush and some black acrylic paint. So that's very simple. That's your preliminary work. So it's a fine liner, a small brush, black acrylic paint and some paper, and perhaps something square or rectangular to draw around. So that gives you an idea of what you need to bring for that. Then for the actual studies themselves, so we're going to be looking at how we could compose an abstract composition, painting, and then we're going to try them. Now, when you're trying things out, it's a bit of a shame to be putting them on a large canvas, and we probably won't have enough time to do all the different composition ways on great big scale. So I quite like these canvas pads, which can get very cheaply, and they are leaves of canvas in a pad. So they're actual primed and gessoed pieces of canvas. They're not absolutely essential, and you could use something like this. This is just an offcut of canvas. So I sort of save offcuts of canvas. So if you're already a bit of a painter and you have a roll of canvas, you can cut a few squares to do your studies with. If you really want, you can buy tiny canvases as well. If you wanted to do sort of 6 to 10 small studies and small canvases, you could do that. Don't panic about that. This is very inexpensive. That was £4 from the works, and actually they had 3 for the price of 2 on with those. So there are deals to be had for the canvas. Then things to pack with you. Yes, acrylic paint. You can choose the colours because we're mainly looking at composition in terms of form, so you can be adventurous, pack some colours that you like, maybe colours you've extracted from your signature palette if you've done any signature palette work with me before. If not, just a load of your favourite colours really. Really good to have a pocket colour wheel always. If you haven't got one of these already, this is essential stuff for your kit. Don't panic if you don't have it by the next lesson, but you know, have that in mind, and if you do have one kicking around, bring that with you. I will have these, but I love a paddle brush, so we can just get a ground on each of the little studies. So that's a Liquitex paddle brush. I will have lots of these, so don't worry too much. A sponge brush, or a sponge lollipop, as some of you like to call them. That is a little wedge shape sponge tool on a stick. If you don't have these, they're very easy to come by. You can get them for children, or you can get them from Amazon, really inexpensive for a big pack. You won't regret it. They're a great way of applying paint in a very free and expressive way. I like a sponge roller. I like the small ones, not the great big ones for DIY. These are nice and get some really great glazes on, so if you've got one of those, bring those. Again, I will have all these things with me if you don't already have them. So you can try before you commit to them. And then a palette knife is always important to have a couple of different palette knives in your kit. If you don't have any yet, I will have these with me and I can discuss with you which shapes you might decide to invest in. So palette knives. And these are some examples of paint tools that you may or may not like to bring with you. I've got a serrated edge. This is a specific paint tool, but you might decide you've got an old comb that you don't mind sacrificing. Don't ever need to spend a lot on materials. You know, that's something that you wipe your car windscreen down with. So that's quite nice, putting paint on. Another paint tool type thing, but you could use an old store card, an old gift card, an old credit card even, and just use the edge of that. So that's a really nice thing to have in your kit. Really important to have a whole load of these lovely netted cloths. You can get these in a supermarket like Tesco's. They're old-fashioned dishcloths basically, so they're netted cloths with the stitching up the side. Buy a couple of packs of those. These are so essential. Always an old towel you're willing to sacrifice to simply dry up brushes as we go. So you're not painting with this one. This is for your good housekeeping. Then things like having a packet of baby wipes with you so you can wipe your hands as you go. Having some disposable vinyl gloves to protect your hands, because we like to get a little bit sort of experimental with the paint techniques, and so, you know, if you're sponging and using a cloth, your hands are going to get dirty, so protect your hands, especially if you've had your nails done, whoever you may be, boys and girls. But yes, it's good. You're protecting your hands against certain pigments that can be irritants as well. Something to cover your desk with. A piece of old plastic, a piece of oilcloth, that's always good as well to bring with you, because even though, you know, our spaces are designated paint spaces, we like to, you know, keep the mess a little contained. Then I did have a squeegee and I think I've dropped it somewhere. So I'm going to have loads of these with me. Oh no, here it is. They're just for, you know, cleaning showers. So if you've got one of these, or you can grab one of these, do bring that to the session. If not, I've got loads of them. So you can play with it first, and then maybe you sort of say to yourself, well, I prefer one that's half the size, or I prefer a great big one for, you know, silk screen printing. So that'll be great. They're all good ideas for your kit. Then you can bring a couple of paintbrushes, whatever you've got kicking around. And I think that's all you will need for the abstract composition, other than somewhere to write some notes, because that's really important as well. I think everybody works differently, don't they? Some of you will work better writing notes on your phone. Others will work really well if they sort of annotate their drawings. Others bring a little notebook with you, and always have a pen to write with as well. That's really good, especially if you've got any form filling to do if you're new to the courses. So I think that's all you will need with you. If I think of anything else, I will send out an alert, but that should be it. You don't need any source material. We're simply looking at the different forms abstract composition might take, and this is exciting and a really good foundation for abstract painting, and can potentially lead us on to looking at all the different other things that can affect an abstract painting, like colour balance, balance of chroma, balance of temperature of colour, texture balance. All these different things make such a big difference to the outcome of your abstract painting. It isn't just a bit of a splurgy mess. We're going to bring a little bit of that in there as well, a little bit of freedom too. But by learning some of the rules and a bit of structure, it gives us an entry point, you know, and we can start then somewhere looking at how one scribble, abstract scribble, is better than the other, you know, so we can start seeing that judgment that the trained eye can see, and you'll start understanding why some abstract pieces work and why some don't. Anyway, I'm so excited for you to join me on your journey into abstract composition, and I look forward to seeing you.